Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, January 8, 2026, 6 p.m. I'd like to ask Mr. Litchford if he'll give us our invocation and lead us in our pledge. Everyone to stand if able.
Please bow. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight humbly before you as this new year starts, and we ask that you provide divine guidance, wisdom, and integrity for our leaders, that you bless all of the administration, the citizens of the city. May their decisions tonight be righteous and in the common good of everyone, guided by truth and justice. We thank you for the opportunity to convene here, for the opportunity for serving all of the community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Tyler.
Here.
Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Ezell.
Here.
Councilmember Witt.
Here.
City Manager Miller.
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here. All right, the next item, the first item on the agenda is the Milestone Awards. That is where we recognize and service of employees of the city. And we've got two that have had reached a milestone award, or milestone event at serving here. And Amanda Bowers in our administration department has been here for 20 years. So we're recognizing her for her longevity in her service. Yep. And Corey Hinch, he is a policeman at the police department. He's been here for 10 years, so we recognize him also for his service to our city. And again, this is plug. This is something we put together several years ago to recognize longevity and service to our city. Our employees are the one that makes the city run day to day, and we want to recognize them and honor them for their service. The next item, we'll move to the consent agenda. So this is for the approval of the minutes of the December 11th, 2025 minutes. This is also the approval for the August 2025 financial report, as well as the September 2025 financial report. So I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review the consent agenda items, and I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt, and we have a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion or corrections? See none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, consent agenda is approved. We'll move to the next agenda item, that's communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for citizens to come forward, address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades. Each person will have up to 5 minutes. Nobody signed in? All right, no one signed in, but if there's anybody who'd like to come forward at this point, you can come forward now. For the record, we'll need your name and your address, please.
My name is Sabrina Daniel, and I live at 4410 Maryland Drive, East Ridge, Tennessee, 37412.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know I was supposed to sign in.
No, you don't
Sorry.
have to sign in. It's just if you wanted to.
Okay. Good evening, council members. I'm Sabrina Daniel. I grew up here in East Ridge and attended Anna B. Lacey, East Ridge Elementary, East Ridge High, and East Ridge Junior High. I have spoken to you before. Thank you for the invocation. And thank you for denying the developer that wanted to build on a very narrow road within an established community. I timed this is 5 minutes. I support reasonable growth in appropriate places. This wasn't one. Thank you for voting this down. First topic. Thinking about working on beautifying Ringo Road. The thoroughways in Chattanooga don't really seem to make much of a plan. Example, Ringgold, Brainerd Road, East Brainerd Road, Dayton Boulevard, Hickson Pike, and King Boulevard, Ottawa. None are beautifully landscaped, and they don't draw the people there because they're attractive roads. I believe the only area that has done a good job with this is Signal Mountain Boulevard. Low signage, laws, trees, flowers, attractive buildings. Ringo Road needs help to draw people to this area. Osborne Shopping Center makes an attempt, but is aging. This is above my pay grade. Yes, beautification takes money. Trees, flowers, more parks, but it may pay off in the long run, attracting more people here. I have been recently walking a lot of our commercial areas. Two observations. One, we have empty buildings. We're losing sales tax by not having them full. Two, most owners and associates in these retail buildings don't live in East Ridge. They are in North Georgia, Brainerd, East Brainerd, Ottawa, Red Bank, and Hickson. Why? Above my pay grade, but I suspect we need affordable housing in the 200 to 350,000 range for one-income families of teachers, nurses, secretaries, receptionists, police officers, firefighters, and retail workers. Let's aggressively recruit these builders and increase our tax base through property tax by our professionals and workers living and buying here. Lastly, I'm running for the school board representing East Ridge and District 8. The current member is moving out of town. If you support, what do you get for your dollars? A born-again Christian, female conservative, perseverant, tenacious, retired school teacher administrator, taught for 17 years, who loves children and wants the best for them and will pray over every vote and build bridges on the board where possible. My website is sabrinadaniel.com. What do I need? Prayer warriors, signatures to be on the ballot, financial pledges. I need $25,000. I've raised $10,000 in 40 days. The Lord and I've done that. Treasurer, campaign manager, IT, internet technology person, door knockers, phone bank callers, help with mailings, sign team, including males who could put up large signs in yards, a wealthy businessman who would contribute to a billboard. I need your help, and I need your vote on May the 5th, 2026. Thank you for praying and for listening. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do I need to sign it?
No need.
Sign this?
You're okay.
No, you're fine. Yeah, you gave us your name and address, so it's on the record, so. Thank you for those comments. We definitely are trying to revitalize East Ridge. We have a facade grant, if some people may or may not know, so we offered to match up to $20,000 for facade grant for some beautifying buildings. We've been heavily utilizing our border region to track and trying to attract new development. That's what has occurred at Exit 1, mainly because of the traffic on the interstate. We are seeing it now move toward the center and toward the west with the new Food City and with Southern Honda Power Sports and others. So we are trying. Please share any and everyone as much information as possible. We made the Business View magazine for the growth that we've had in the past several years. So we're doing our best, but we need everyone's help. Specifically for Ringo Road beautification, I will maybe pass it over to City Manager. That is a state highway, and so we have certain limitations and restrictions and things that we have to do. Any one thing you want to comment on Ringo Road? We did do some beautification, and we done some stormwater sewer maintenance that just occurred.
Yeah, we still need to continue the multimodal
Correct.
project, which would take it from can't think of the name of that road we went up to. Kingwood, yeah, up to Kingwood. We still have to do the area from Kingwood up to the tunnels to make the drainage system functional.
Correct.
From Kingwood down to McBrien, we have covered that with 18-inch pipe on both the north and south sides with catch basins and then sidewalk on top of that. There's a 182-foot fall from Bachman Tunnels to McBrien. So when we get hit with the heavy rain, and if you want to see it, you can see it tomorrow because we're expecting some heavy rains over the next day and a half. That water cascades down from those tunnels, from all those businesses, and ends up ponding out there in front of the Valvoline Oil business there at Marlboro and Ringgold Road. Hopefully we'll be able to obtain grants, because this one was a 75% grant that we got to do the area. We needed to get 2 more grants to finish that project up. We'll do as much beautification as we can. However, the state doesn't get involved with a lot of beautification issues. That's going to be up to the city. And to be honest with you, our road systems throughout our city are in need of resurfacing. And over the past years, at least 3 years I've been here, we have made a concerted effort to put anywhere from $1.3 to $1.7 million a year in resurfacing our roads. And unfortunately, we don't get an awful lot for $1.5 million. We do what we can. On the agenda tonight, under new business, we're looking at a $1.3 million road resurfacing program for 2026. We're just finishing up $1.4 million road resurfacing with Caldwell Paving. So that's kind of takes a little high priority than putting trees up and down Ringgold Road at this time. So hopefully someday we'll be able to accomplish that task. But right now, any extra dollars we have in the streets and bridges, we need to allocate those dollars to tend to those projects.
Thank you, sir. Council, anything you would like to add? Okay. Is there anyone else who'd like to come forward? All right, I don't see anyone else, so we'll now move to the next item, which is communications from council members. I'll start on this side. Vice Mayor Tyler.
Oh, nothing for me this time, Mayor.
Yes,
That's
sir, I
Member
got
Cagle.
one thing.
Yes, sir.
Here several months back, I asked a question about the update on the signs down there getting off the freeway.
Yes.
So what is the status on the lights? I got off the freeway the other night. Either one of them are lit up.
One of them's lit up.
Well, it wasn't the other night.
I know. We're still working on the electrical. It hasn't been easy. The one in front of the home area there.
Black hair,
I'm sorry.
black hair.
Yeah. That one we had to get an easement to go onto the property, and that took a long while because they just can't grant an easement at the local. They've got to take it all the way up to corporate. We already have it, the easement needed for the one on the in front of the Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A.
business. Matter of fact, we lit one up last night, and it looks great. So very soon, we're going to get them both lit up. I'd say in the next week or so.
Just wondered.
Question. Anything else, sir?
No.
Councilmember Witt?
Nothing.
Councilmember Ezell?
I'd just like to wish everybody a happy new year and hope we have a good year here in this city. We got a lot to do, and hopefully we can accomplish it.
Thank you, sir. All right, so likewise, I hope everyone had a great Christmas holiday and their 2026 has started off good and being blessed. One of the things that I want to mention that is upcoming, I think the press release went out today, is Venue 1921 at East Ridge. So we're going to celebrate a grand opening of Venue 1921 at East Ridge with a ribbon cutting ceremony on Saturday, January the 24th at 1:30, followed by an open house featuring some music, light bites, refreshments, opportunities to explore the building design, the functionality, and the future uses. If everyone doesn't know, but it's the pavilion here behind City Hall. It is beautiful. If you get a chance when you leave, walk out and look. It is just beautifully lit up in the back. This is a great addition, offering modern space, welcoming for. We can have community gatherings, we can have special events, we can have celebrations, all type of things, and we're proud to have that as a premier destination for our city, and it also significant that we named it, great recommendation by staff, Venue 1921, which honors our history of when East Ridge officially become a city. So that is a ribbon cutting grand opening on January the 24th. I'll mention it in the next council meeting as well, because we'll have one more before this. Then I also want to talk about Parks and Rec. I'm going to ask Shauna to come up, our Director of Parks and Rec. We have a lot of activities now kicking off with the new year and spring. I know it's still winter, but we're looking forward, looking ahead at the spring signups.
Well, as you know, we like to work ahead, and March will be here before you know it. So we have cheerleading signups that are open now, and they'll be open from 1/1 through 3/2. And that is for any existing that cheered last year or any new cheerleaders. We also have our East Ridge Football Club, which is our soccer signups for rec. That starts at under 4 and goes all the way up to under 19. Those signups are running now through February 21st, and we will accept late signups if we have room. Flag football. So we have one of the biggest flag rec leagues in town, and in the spring we call it Friday Night Lights, because in the spring we can play on Friday nights, but in the fall you can't because of high school football. So in the spring we do Friday Night Lights. We play all the games under the lights there at Camp Jordan on fields 4 and 5. So those signups are now open for girls or boys from January 1st through March 2nd. And again, we'll do 6 games on Friday nights, and the cost is $90, includes your jersey, your belt, and everything. Flag belts, as they say. And then we have spring softball. That is our rec that is open to for ages 5 through 17. And we'll have that from January 1st through March 2nd. And then, there's so much, sorry. We have our baseball and our t-ball. So t-ball is ages 3 and 4. And then baseball will be ages 5 through 12, and then we'll launch the older age group around the 1st of May because middle school's still going on. And then we'll have that in the summer. So that's everything coming up right now that'll hit in the spring.
Thank you, ma'am. And then I always like to talk about our amazing library. Thank you. So there's so many activities going on in the park with Parks and Rec and also with the library. So we have the Knitwits group. It's from 2 to 4. It's going to be on the 16th. It's a knitting group. We've got on the 13th the pre-K story time from 10:30 to 11:30. You've got on the 14th Walking Wednesdays from 4 to 5. On the 15th you've got Baby Bounce at 11:30 to 12:30. On the 10th Saturday you have book signing with Deborah Levine from 12 to 1:30. Also on the 10th, there's a book club for adults from 11 to 12. On the 12th is STEM night, which is from 6 to 7. And on the 13th, there is Nimble Thimbles, which is a tough yarn, turn fluffy yarn and frosting fun into a pom-pom with snowman. That is from 4 to 5. And then the elementary book club is on the 14th, which is Wednesdays, and the middle school book club is on Thursday. They have just jam-packed. If you've not been to our library, I highly recommend to go. There's so many activities, so many fun things to do. I talk about it every council meeting. So I think that's all that I have. Yep, I think so. I'll hand it off now to City Manager Miller.
Mine might be longer than yours tonight. Just kidding.
It may be. Is it a challenge?
No. Shauna Skiles and I attended the Hamilton County Commission meeting last evening, and one of the items on there was approval of recreation improvement funds that the county is going to obtain from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Upwards to $50 million, and of that $50 million, $3 million is coming to the city of East Ridge to help us, assist us in turfing our fields over in Camp Jordan. So that's a real plus. We put our $3 million in, and the county's gonna help us with $3 million. So that's kind of like a 50-50 grant, and you really can't walk away from something like that today. Update on the multi-purpose center, the Venue 1921, that's complete, it's done. So we're the mayor mentioned the grand opening coming up. It's a beautiful facility, and we're already booking events, activities, weddings at the present time. Update on the community center expansion. I would say that they are probably more than 50% completed. Everybody knows the community center. They had the construction of the complete addition to the west completed. The masonry walls are up. Engineering, pre-engineering building is completed. They should finish in the next week with the entire roof trim, gutters, downspouts, and then they'll get involved with the gymnasium. They still have some work in there to do, but it's looking very well. The track to complete the building project is May 5th of 2026. We should be done in April. That's a good project that we'll finish up on. The road widening of North Mac Smith Road from Ringgold Road north in front of the Cracker Barrel, that road is now completed. It is done. You'd have to do a walkthrough on that, but it's looking good, so we're really excited that that project's been done. That's been 3 or 4 years in the making as far as construction drawings and getting the necessary land for it. A couple upcoming meetings, just to mention, we have city manager interviews scheduled for next Monday, January 12th at 6 p.m. in this room here. The public is welcome to attend. We also have a workshop between the city council and the planning commission scheduled for Thursday, January 15th in this room to discuss the mobile food truck legislation that we've been back and forth on over the past several months. And lastly, I'm going to ask Michael Howell to come up and kind of give us an update in regard to the FEMA maps revisions. We've been getting a lot of questions, calls coming into City Hall, and Mike just asked for a couple minutes to do an explanation on that. So, Michael, please.
Yes, Mayor and Council, as you know, this body adopted the new firm panel maps on November the 28th, 2025, and I just wanted to bring this to your attention in case any citizens have gotten any calls from any citizens. So, during that the updates on those, there were some revalidations that was not incorporated into the new firm panel map. So, that includes Garland Estate, portion of Hummingbird Village, and Garland Estate and Graston Avenue, I have sent the Loma Seas back to FEMA for them to get revalidated. So if you do have any citizens that are concerned about now having to purchase flood insurance, just please direct them to me as a floodplain administrator, and I'll get it taken care of. But I do have those submitted to FEMA, and hopefully those revalidations will come through in the next 60 days.
Thank you, sir.
I live on San Jose Drive, and they've recently just put me back in to the flood zone, FEMA, whatever. I was taken out of it years ago, and I'm trying to understand why I'm back in. I've lived in the house for over 70 years, and there's never been water in the house. I lived literally in the house, and my parents did, when we had the floods in 1971, when all that went on. And there's never been water in our house. Yes, up in the yard, but never in the house in all those years. So I can't understand why I'm being put back in to the flood zone also.
We can discuss this if you want to give me a phone call, but what's happened with these new firm panel maps, mortgage companies, they send these every 2 weeks. Mortgage companies get them right. Yes. You've got them. So you've got the mortgage company telling you now have to have flood insurance, correct?
Yes.
Yes. If you don't mind, you can call me tomorrow. We can discuss it.
I need to get your name.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. That's why we wanted to do this.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. I'm done.
You're done? All right. Good deal. All right. So the next item is old business, which we have none. So we'll move to the next item, which is new business, which is a public hearing for ordinance number 1239.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 1408 San Heze Drive, tax map number 169K-1 J-009 from C2 General Commercial District to R2 Residential Duplex District.
Thank you, sir. I will open up this public hearing. Mr. Howell, do you want to brief us on the request?
Yes, Mayor and City Council. So this went before the Planning Commission in December, and ultimately they granted the approval for the rezone. This request is a down zoning that reduces land intensity and potential impacts such as traffic, noise, lighting compared to the permitted C2 district uses. The development under the R2 district will be subjected to residential setbacks and height standards, ensuring compatibility with adjacent homes. Although the parcel does not meet the current lot size and frontage requirement, it is a legal lot and is buildable. Overall, the rezoning supports residential stability, limits commercial encroachment, and provides reasonable transition between commercial and residential zoning. This request is consistent with Resolution 3715 and the city's goals to protecting established residential neighborhoods.
Thank you, sir. Is the applicant here, and would they like to come up and add anything to this? If you'll give us your name and address for the record, sir.
Alan Jones with Stone Creek Consulting, 1112 Wimouth Road in Dunlap, Tennessee. So as Michael mentioned, this was heard at Planning Commission. There was one neighbor that came to the meeting, Miss Morrison. She lives behind this property. She was in support of it. She was just there just to bring up some of the issues of potential for flooding and things of that nature. One of the things that was discussed at the meeting is we're not going to be filling the site because we made a comment that the house will have to be built to the flood standards since it is technically in the flood zone, so the building will have to be, the finished floor 1 foot above the finished floor elevation, but that'll just be done from a foundation standpoint, not from, filling the site. As Michael mentioned, this is currently a commercial property. It's adjacent to a auto repair shop, and I guess we'll call it an adult store that's next door to that. It's not the most ideal place to put a single family house, but this is a good location to do some infill housing to provide 2 additional housing units and as a transition into the single family subdivision.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, this is a public hearing, so if there is anyone in the audience that is in favor of or opposed to, now is your opportunity to come forward and address the council and or the applicant. Yes, ma'am, if you'll give us your name and address for the record.
I'm Ruth Davis, and I live at 1403 Sandhicey Drive, which is kind of across the street from the property in question. If it's not a good fit for a residential property, why is it good for duplexes? Because you're just bringing in lower income and you're dropping the value of our residential area. Our Sandhicey is only 2 blocks long. They've already got 2 duplexes up in the corner, one on each side of the road, which are not maintained really well. There is lots of cars and work vehicles and everything. Everybody's trying to back in and out. Sandhicey is a small street. It has got way more traffic on it than it was ever meant to have. Majorly way more. You've got I call it the toy store, the exotic store, ever what it is up on the corner, is open from 8 to 12 at midnight. There's cars coming in and there out of all night long. And then you've got the J&J, which they do a wonderful job of keeping their boundaries and everything, but they do have wreckers coming in and out and backing in and out to that facility. Now across the street, you have our huge car wash that I am next door to, which the traffic backs up most every day, several times a day, around the corner on Sandhicey to that you can't get in and out. I can't get in and out of my driveway, or I sit there through several traffic lights till somebody's kind enough. And most people nowadays are not really nice. they just block you in. So, I mean, you've got all of that going on right there. You're going to put duplexes there. Then you're going to have anywhere from 4 to 6 more cars coming in and out of there. That's a very small section of room. The cars come off of Ringo Road at a dead aim coming down. I mean, they'll come around that corner, especially on the side from the car wash, and they'll come around that corner, and I mean, they just whiz. They're just running. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff goes on right there. And there is always police cars there. There's always pulling somebody over where they're running lights and everything. So you're just putting more. Then when you put duplexes there, and yes, I understand there's already a water problem there, a major water problem there. And I know it. I've lived there. I've owned that property. My dad owned the property before. My daughter and son-in-law are the ones who sold it because it was so wet and stayed wet that he could not go in there and put the building on there that he wanted to put. So I know it's all gonna have to be raised. So I already have a ton of water that comes across the street from there and comes in my yard and goes down the side yard and washes dirt and holes that, I mean, what are you going to do about all of that? I mean, the water every time it rains, because none of the gutter things are taken care of. I go out there about once every month or two and pull all the trash out of them on my side and on the other side of the street in front of my house, just to keep them from overflowing. They have not been cleaned out or taken care of in years. And I have done that for years, even on Oakdale. There's one on Oakdale behind the house on the corner that stops up. When it stops up, I have gone back there in my boots and stood in water up past my boots and pulled out trash and stuff there. Once you get that cleaned out, then the water goes down. I mean, that is a hazard daily. Every time we have a rain.
I'm a little confused on where the water, we're referring to that, because we do have open citations on a couple of the properties, the commercial properties up front there that have, have issues with maintaining the water runoff there. Let's put it that way. So codes enforcement is currently active working on that as well.
I have a huge one in, I don't know, what do you call it?
Catch basin?
Yes, in the middle of my yard.
Catch basin.
That you all put in. It's never had anybody check on it. I go out there with my rake and clean it and take all the leaves and trash out of it every time we have a rain. I've got to do that tonight because I wasn't home this morning to take care of that. So that's what I'm doing when I leave here tonight, so that the water doesn't pull up there.
I can't verify if the catch basin was put in by the city. More than likely, it was a developer installation. That's what you see during the building of these subdivisions.
Yeah, we would have to check on what the right of way is on San Jose.
Catch basin was
sorry?
put in years ago, Bobby.
It was built. If it was built prior,
It wasn't. Oh no, but I mean, I'm saying, help me.
most of the houses.
It was probably put in around 16 or 17 because it was an open ditch down through there, and the city did come in.
Well, the city did a lot of things back in the past which they shouldn't have been doing. We don't go on
And it
to
was
private.
closed in, and now it's all fallen in, and I've got all these holes in my yard back there where
I'll have
it's
to
all
have the
washed.
streets take a look at it to see whether it's our responsibility or the city's responsibility. A lot of the plats that we have seen throughout the city, especially after the the August 12th rain that we had, 6.7 inches. A lot of people had a lot of flooding with these drainage ditches.
had water
However, a
ba-
lot
I
of those drainage
I had
ditches
water back there.
and a lot of the concrete by the plats basically said that that's the responsibility of the property owner, not the city of
I did
East
not
Ridge.
ask them to come in and put that
I know.
in. They took it on
developer-
themselves.
The developer put all this in, and you bought the plat.
I've owned that plaque.
you-
That
you-
plaque has been owned. There's no developer. My dad,
he built it?
my dad built the house that I live in, and all that property I have owned since.
We'd have to check, I'd have to
1950.
check the plat.
Since
I can't-
1950.
I can't do that now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what
Well, I moved in the house when I was 2. I am now 75, almost 76.
They'll check into it and see. As you know, when you start getting on people's private property, it becomes an issue. So that's why the city can't go on private
understand.
property. So we'll find out some more information and get back to you. Make sure you
What's the
get,
address?
1403 Sanhasi Drive. It's a house right beside, hey, it's right
1403,
beside,
okay.
right beside the car wash. You can't miss it.
and you're gonna get with Michael anyway
Yes.
tomorrow, so we'll have your contact information and everything as well.
Yeah, this whole area, Mayor, it represents a long-standing mix of residential uses in the area. Obviously, this was urban residential way before we adopted the 1989 municipal zoning code. So that's why you see all these legal non-conforming duplexes, and they're going to remain there. They're not going anywhere. But what this rezone does do, it helps a better transition from encroaching of commercial property onto residential property by placing a high-density residential to low-density residential. So
Right,
you've
because
got that
zone
buffer.
now, it can be even higher density than the duplex, being
Absolutely.
commercial. Okay.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, commercial could just encroach on all the way down into the Sanhisi Drive area.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to come forward? Yes, sir. Give us your name and address for the record, too.
Mark Sean Moore, 1402 Sanhisi.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful speaking with you guys. You've done a great, wonderful thing in East Ridge over the past several years with all the redevelopment. The reason I am here tonight is concerning the rezoning from C2 to R2. I own the property next to this subject property. I don't see this particular lot being fit nor suitable for an R2, a duplex. The reason being the lot is 50 foot wide, 160 deep. With the setbacks you have on each side, if I'm not mistaken, they're 10 feet. So you're gonna have a 30 foot wide duplex. Well, the center of the duplex, your demising wall is gonna be 15 feet. So it's gonna have to, at minimum, be a 2-story structure. I would much rather see a small metal commercial building there with the occupancy of maybe 4, 5 cars in the parking lot at any given time versus a rental property where you may have 6, 7 people living in each side, which I have seen several times in East Ridge in 2-bedroom, 1-bath houses. Also, my mother's home has a rental property next to it, unfortunately, and we have fought a battle for about 12 years with some of the tenants, calling the police on them, drug deals going on. My opinion on rental properties is if they're maintained and well operated, they can be a good thing. As they start to deteriorate a little in age, as many of them have in East Ridge, you end up attracting bad elements because the properties rent for cheaper as they deteriorate. My next concern with this property is the gentleman had mentioned they're gonna have to go in there and build that property up. In doing so, he is gonna shed all that water on to 1402 Sanhisi as well as 1400 Sanhisi. And like Ms. Ruth said, the car wash has been a wonderful thing. It beautified Ringo Road. I don't know how much you guys go up and down Sanhisi. A lot of times the car wash is backed up and you'll wait possibly 10 minutes headed from the terrace to Ringo Road on people trying to turn into the car wash, and you just have to sit there and wait. As a matter of fact, she actually had a car several years ago actually come around Sanhisi, run through her yard, destroy her automobile, and ran into the side of the house, where there's just so much traffic now and people speed up and down through there. My concern is I want to know what will happen with retention. Will they have some type of retention pond with this duplex? Where will their water be diverted? And will the storm drains be put in to where it will accept that amount of water once they divert theirs onto me and 1400 Sanhisi? And I do know on Oakdale, I have a picture of that drain, we have kept it up for many, many years. It's kind of a neglected drain. We go rake the leaves off of it, and I actually have a photo of it. May I?
You can.
Okay, sure.
I just want to ask permission.
Thank you. Do you want to get that address too? Check that drain.
And where is this located?
That is at the corner of
Oakdale and San Hase.
Thank you.
And it's actually kind of behind the ditch, and it will get stopped up with
Yeah.
leaves.
I can kind of see how it does right there.
And all that backs up.
Yeah. He's making a note of the location.
Your address?
He's 1402.
Yeah, okay.
And if you'll allow me to have more photos. This is the subject lot to the right of this home. When we do have an eventual amount of rain,
It's a swimming pool.
which obviously the drains were not cleaned, and I waded water knee deep to clean the drains.
Yep, I'm familiar with that.
You didn't wade
Wow.
through it, did you?
No, but I drove through the street, yeah. The water was,
And everybody flies through that.
Oh, yeah.
I know they do.
Yeah, that's the brick house. It is. And all this water runs off Ringo Road from the adult store to the repair garage, comes right across this lot, the subject lot that's being rezoned, and it'll either cross San Hase or run on down to 1400. And that's my biggest fear. By the time they bring in probably 9 tandem loads of dirt, bring that up above the floodplain, that as right now, this lot, the subject lot, is kind of a catch basin for some of this water. If it's built up, then 1400 and 1402, and possibly her house across the road, is gonna have to accept that amount of water.
Yeah, there's no drainage on Ringo Road in that area, none whatsoever.
There are typical stormwater drains at the asphalt.
Right.
I actually have a catch basin, 2 of them in my front yard. And as long as they're clean, they will disperse the water. And I try to keep them clean from debris and leaves. But the grade coming off Ringo Road, it does not run the water to those catch basins. It runs it toward Oakdale. But that's my biggest concern, is water retention. And where's the water gonna go once that's built up?
So Mayor and Council, there's 2 things I need to address here. So the builder has 2 options when it comes to building in the floodplain. You can do it by fill, or you can do it by just by raising the
Foundation.
elevation of the structure itself. So I do not know what the builder intends on doing on this particular property. Normally you see, I don't know if, Alan, are they wanting to get a Loma F on this one to raise it up, or they, no, okay, so this will be CMU block raised then, so you're not gonna have any fill being placed on this property, so any of the water that's running off Ringo Road and the adjacent ones, this property is gonna capture it just as well as the other ones will. No retention is required for this parcel. I know a lot of these parcels in East Ridge in the early 20s were 50 by 150. You see it throughout the city. Regardless of what size these lots are, they're still buildable lots, they're recorded lots. We see a lot of single-family homes going on these lots as well throughout the city.
May I ask one more question? Do we have any kind of rendering of what will be built?
I do know it's 2 duplexes. I don't have the rendering, just a site.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What about the elevation height on the block?
I'm not familiar with the base flood elevation in that area. I want to say it's around 680. That might
Okay.
put CMU blocks at around,
5
3/4
foot?
high, maybe.
Okay.
Depending on how, what the base flood elevation is, because the bottom of that top floor needs to be 1 foot above
Yes.
that. Yes, sir.
That's all I have.
Come here.
Yes, sir.
This is what I got. I don't know if you can be able to see that, but
Yeah, I have the same.
that's about the gist of what I got.
Right. Was that
Yeah.
the
Yeah, we're still in a public hearing. You can come up and address his
Yeah.
concerns
That's a question
concerns and
for that guy.
questions. Absolutely.
Yeah, just a couple of kind of comments just to address some of the concerns the neighbors have. First, this is a downzoning from commercial to residential. Regardless if a single-family house is built here, a duplex, or even a commercial building, it's going to have the same impacts as far as just the site work on the property. My client is looking at just doing just a foundation for this site. So if the finished floor needs to be 3 feet above the grade, then we'll have 3 feet of block with stairs that to a porch that goes up to the house. So they're not looking at bringing in tandem loads of dirt for this site. That doesn't make sense. Then the cost just is ridiculous, and you'd have retaining walls everywhere. Just doesn't make sense. I do know that there is some just from the planning commission meeting when Ms. Morrison was here, there is some drainage between my client's property and her property that's on the back side, and they've been having some discussions as far as getting some of that cleaned up, and a lot of it apparently is coming maybe more from JJ's and that larger commercial building that's to the east. So those things are we'll be looking at getting those things addressed as well. But when you look at rental properties, this is I'm not gonna lie, this is intended to be a rental property. But with today's construction, each unit's gonna be about 1,200 square feet, so we're looking at 3-bed, 2-bath houses. If he's lucky, he can build this for $175 a square foot. So you're looking at probably $2.5 just to build this thing. So it's not going to be a cheap rent. It's not like buying a $40,000 flipper and putting $20,000 into it, making a cheap rental. This will be new construction, nice build, nice materials. That will be a nice rental, and I think a good asset to this community.
Thank you, sir.
May I ask him a question?
Yes.
Well, is this gonna be an asphalt?
It'll be
Or concrete?
looking at concrete asphalt.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be a driveway. Yeah. It'll either be a parking lot or a parking pad like this.
Okay.
Or looking at maybe just 2 driveways right off of the street.
But it won't absorb rainwater?
No, he's not looking
It's
at-
gonna have to run
Yeah,
off
it'll be
somewhere?
it'll sheet somewhere. Yes.
Okay,
Same thing if they did a commercial as it is right now.
okay.
And if you did a commercial building, then that parking lot probably doubles in size, and the building gets pushed all the way back, and you're gonna have twice as much parking.
Depends on the size of the commercial building.
True.
I have one more question. One more concern I have is my center lot here is actually C2. When we rezone this from C2 to R2, how is that going to affect my C2 since I'm attached to a C2? Will mine revert back to residential?
It does not. Basically, since you have a split zone parcel, and this is unique for Hamilton County, whatever zone C2, that can be used as a C2 portion, and whatever's R1 can be used as R1. I've seen it in past municipalities where they've had it written in the subdivision regulations where 50% of a certain property has, a zoning to it. It reverts back to that zoning. We do not have that here, unfortunately. So you do have a split zone, C2 and R1. So
Okay.
yes, sir. I don't know what you plan on doing with your property there. But
Okay. I just had that question. I just wanted to check on it and see. My final thought is in 2018, when East Ridge was trying to get the redevelopment plan, in 2018, I'd spoke with several people about the amount of rental property in East Ridge because at that time, East Ridge made up about 60% rental property. And I was told that we were trying to get it around 35%. So that was another thing that I had in question. Actually, me and Mr. Miller spoke about that, about the rental property. I don't know if he remembers it, but East Ridge had a lot of rental property, more rental property than actual residents that have been here their whole life like me.
Yeah, we are number one in Hamilton County, above,
The median,
Red Bank has 40s, Chattanooga's in the 40s, we're the highest.
yes, sir. That's what we had spoke about years ago in 18. And that's what I was wondering, is allowing more rental property a good thing or a bad thing? Because Jack Sharp had said over 30 some odd years ago that the rental property would be the downfall of East Ridge. I grew up here, I went to school here, graduated from East Ridge. Best place in the world to go to school. Everybody wanted to be here. And we've had our good times and we've had some down times in East Ridge. Now, thanks to you guys and the commissioners, East Ridge is the place to be now. Everybody wants to be here with all the redevelopment. And I just wonder how, if we keep allowing more rental property, are we gonna hit another downslope eventually? Because East Ridge is a great place, like I say,
I agree.
been here 54 years and don't plan on going anywhere.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's all I have. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yes, sir, you're welcome. Mayor and council, I did look at the FEMA firm panel map, so we're about at 680.3 for that elevation. So you would put it, you figure if you look at that house being built up, it'd be pretty much identical to the pad at Suds Car Wash, I think it is, right there. So the elevation's pretty high on that one.
That's gonna be high.
That is high.
That's real high.
Because that one's 1 feet above the base flood elevation in that area.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But there again, you utilize properties like that. When you do have elevations like that, you utilize the bottom space of it.
Yeah.
Oftentimes is, garages, I don't think they can do it
So-
on this one, but
So we're gonna have a house that is gonna be substantially elevated, but the parking off the street is going to remain the same.
that's correct,
Okay,
yes.
so when we have these rainfalls that we're going to be watching very carefully tomorrow and Saturday, that you're gonna end up with a house with a moat, with a moat around it, and cars in that parking lot that could be looking at 6 or 8 inches of water.
That I couldn't verify, Scott. I mean, the topography is so.
Well, what I'm looking at right now, because the picture that the gentleman showed me is exactly what I see. I go Sennheiser all the time, basically, because I gotta get to CVS, and that's the fastest way for me to travel. I'm sorry. It was better when it was here, it was easy to get to, but now I do Sennheiser. I know exactly what you're saying. I must, being a senior, I got a lot of prescriptions. And that's the way I go back and forth. And rain or shine, I see the big, huge puddles, but they're not puddles. You're right. They're actually rivers of water that this one lot does go completely underwater.
And all
But-
that would get a power station right beside the.
I know. Yeah, you're right. So
All right.
Years back, and I don't know if you remember or not, or what.
I've only been here since 16.
Well, I mean, lived
2016.
in East Ridge, so I've lived in East Ridge and on that road, like I said, since I was a child. That road where Sean's house is and where my house is now, the road, somebody came through, I don't know if it was East Ridge, the city, and they raised the road. That's what put his property and my property both down in a bowl.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know when that was, but I was young. It's about the same time that they came through our property. They condemned our property, the house that I'm living in. They dug a ditch through there. My dad had a lawsuit with East Ridge 70s, probably 65 something years ago, since I'm 75, because I know, and they dynamited 3 feet from our house. I know that. I live there. I couldn't play out in the yard. They came through and put this huge tile and all the stuff through, only halfway through the yard. Then they stopped. Then about, can't remember now, I'd have to go back and look through some of my papers. I don't know if it was 15, 16, 17, I don't think it was 17, somewhere right in there. Then they came in, they took down my fence on the back corner, which is no longer there because the car wash is there, came through, dug all that out, and put in more half-ass tile and stuff, and then just poured all the concrete and stuff in chunks of stuff around it. So now, and just filled in dirt, all of that has sunk through.
Yeah.
And I've got big holes back there, gopher holes. I mean, literally, where it all has just all the dirt
Sinkholes,
has-
yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that has anything would like to come forward? Anything else you would like to address? The applicant.
Just one little comment, just, making the comment of a house being 4 feet in the air seems atrocious. My house is built 4.5 feet off the ground. That's so I can put my HVAC underneath the house, and we just have steps that go up to the house. And so, you know, having a foundation and a crawl space is pretty common when you're building homes. So it's not going to be this, you know, you're not looking up 18 feet in the air to see the first floor. You know, we're talking, you know, 4 feet off the ground, having a porch, and you know, I think it'd be a nice asset, and as opposed to having a commercial building that's jacked up 4 feet off the ground. So I'll just leave it at that. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, sir. All right, if there's no one else. All right, I will close this public hearing and we'll actually move into the execution of the ordinance.
Reading of the ordinance 1239, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 1408 Sanheasy Drive, tax map number 169K-J-009 from C2 General Commercial District to R2 Residential Duplex District.
Thank you, sir. All right, council, we had a public hearing. You've heard the comments. I will entertain a motion for ordinance number 1239.
Make a motion to not accept ordinance 1230.
So you make a motion to deny.
Correct.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion denied by Councilmember Ezell and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have a concern about the piece of property. As we all know, the garage next door has used that lot for a storage lot for umpteen years. As long as that garage has been there, that empty lot has been used as a storage lot. They back cars in there, they bring them out of the garage, they push them around there till they get their parts to work on. My concern is, should we have a soil sample done on that whole piece of property? Because my concern is the gas, oil, and antifreeze contamination to the property that's there. Because I'd hate to have a duplex built there, my kids playing in the backyard with all that contaminated soil out there, because you hear about it all over the Hamilton County here. So that is my concern. I'd like to see if we ever do a residential thing there, then
Councilman.
I would like to,
Councilman Cagle, if you could bring the microphone, they're having trouble hearing you.
if we ever do see a residential zone put in there, I would like to see the property owner be requested to have soil samples made because of the contamination from what it has been used for prior years. And I'm not talking about 1 year or 2 years. It's been used for years, and that old garage is back there. I do not know what is stored in there.
I can tell you what was stored in there.
All right, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm
I'm just trying to hear you.
I understand that commenting is over for public hearing. I'm sorry, but yeah, you
But that
definitely
is-
can listen. But
That is my biggest concern, is about the contaminated soil that's there, because I went through that with the city 1 year over a little bitty corner in our own property that took forever to get where EPA would pass it because of a little bit of gas spill.
So I think that is something that, I'm not sure the process to do that. That's a sidebar to this
Yes, sir.
ordinance, but note taken. I'm not sure if that's something we do with EPA or if the,
Although I don't regulate environmental, soil
Right.
sampling, stuff like that, my role as a building official is the safety and welfare of the citizens when we're building a structure. That has been a long-standing business operation of an auto shop there. I can verify that I've been on that property before, and there is leachment of some contaminant. I don't not disagree with you, Mr. Cagle, at all. So I think that would be warranted as far as a sampling of that site to make sure it is a suitable site for people to live in.
okay, anything else?
No, sir. That's it.
Anyone else on council? Yes, sir.
Yep. I'm not really saying no to this. I'm saying no to this right now. I would like to see the city investigate this drainage problem and try to fix the water runoff before we allow something to be built to allow more water on their people's property.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here. If this is denied, it'll be 1 year before this can be brought back
Well,
by the council, correct?
short answer is, generally, short answer is yes, but generally it's a 1 year for that intensity, you know, it can't be that intensity or greater. Is that right, Mr. Howell?
That's correct,
Yeah,
yes.
so technically this is a lesser intensive one. I don't know that we've ever had one that we've come up, I mean, I honestly would have to look at that because it is 1 year, provided it can't be sought for rezoning to that same, you know, that classification that it's sought, or a greater intensity. In other words, if it was R3 going to C2, it would be 1 year for anything C2 and above. This is the reverse.
Or if it was C2 back to R2 again for reconsideration, it couldn't, it'd have to wait a year. Now, if it went to R1, it wouldn't. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying since we're going down a level, it's sort of the reverse. They're down zoning, and so I really don't know the answers in here because we've not had it come up in that. It's not even. I don't know that it's even written in the code that way. In the zoning code, it is written 1 year from the date of denial for that rezoning or anything of a greater intensive use. So I mean, their argument it could be it had to be lesser than R2 because anything above that would be greater.
Right. Unless it would be R1.
Unless there's, you know, anything lower than R2, yeah. I probably could support that interpretation. It is not as clear in the zoning code. But there is potentially a 1 year waiting period, yes.
Could we table this until we get more information? Before we make a decision?
I mean, you could need make a motion to
And
table.
you have to make a motion.
I can,
Well, yeah, we have to withdraw his.
I can
No.
withdraw mine.
Don't have to
You
withdraw.
don't have to withdraw, you can make a
I would
motion.
like to make a motion that we get more information so that I feel more comfortable in
That's
what
true.
decision I make.
We have a motion on the table, but you still,
Yeah, you're just a minute. Yeah, you can.
no.
A motion to table in a second takes precedent and ends discussion,
Does.
and that's it.
Yeah, and once it comes back on the table, it is exactly where it sits today, which is
Right.
at two
Exactly.
motions, and be set for decision making.
Yep,
So do they need
Well,
a second for my motion?
you didn't make a motion.
You ain't
to
made the
table.
motion.
You have to say table.
I thought I said I make a motion that we table this
Thank you.
until we get more,
Yeah.
Second.
make a decision.
All right, we have a motion to table by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler.
Procedural question, is there a date on that, or is it just indefinite?
Well, you can make,
It right
It's
now,
indefinite
because I don't
to
know
do
when we're gonna get the city
results.
engineer to do a study. I can't say what's gonna be on the 22nd or the first or second meeting in February.
but it would have to be properly noticed that
It's gonna have to.
Be
yeah.
noticed.
Right.
One of the upcoming meetings, the council's gonna have to take it off the table. When they take it off the table, then they have to know that time certain that would be heard. Got it.
I got a motion and a second for a table. Roll call, Ms. Diedrich.
I have a question here before we table it. As it stands now, C2, this gentleman can right now come in because it is still a buildable lot and he can still build this duplex. He can,
It being a C2 lot in the special flood hazard area, Jackie, you're gonna see fill introduced to that site if you
Well-
do any commercial activity in it. You're not gonna be able to do anything but fill.
Roll call, Ms. Diedrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes, the table.
Councilmember Cagle?
yes,
Councilmember Ezell?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Orders number 1239 has been tabled.
I have an additional question. We currently have Asa Engineering doing a physical inventory of all of our stormwater drains and assets of the city.
Yes?
Would these be included in that? For the discovery?
Not necessarily, because we don't have any identified specific drainage. Well, we do have some drainage structures that I had to investigate whether or not that's part of the system.
Sure.
But this would be a separate assignment for ASA engineer to come in and take a look at the drainage basin in that area.
I think we should stick with streets for now. Your idea was good. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
I have a question about the drainage here. The house behind Miss Davis used to be used as a dog training facility or something. City went in there, and from that street that's in front of her house, there's a ditch that come in there, and there's an alleyway between those buildings. Okay, city came in and built a concrete ditch from that road all the way back behind there, and I don't know how far they went into. So I know the city was back in there digging up toward Miss Davis's house. So that is city drainage coming, because it all drains to the creek. When the creek backs up, that backs up to the back of their house. So that drainage up there all runs to the creek. So we need ASIF to look, see if there's any blockages from the back of their house or the transformer station from there to the creek. Because of that concrete culverts that's there, and I don't know what they did up there behind the house, because I've never went up in there, but the city did do that. And those houses right in there, when it floods, especially the little house that's right behind the barber shop that's there, I think, up on the hill, so.
It floods bad. I've got
Yeah.
pictures of all the
All right, thank you, sir. All right, we'll move to the next item, ordinance number 1240.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend East Ridge Municipal Code, Title 20, Chapter 2, which chapter is known as the East Ridge Air Pollution Control Ordinance, by providing for increased permit and certificate fees.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The Chattanooga-Hamilton County Air Pollution Control Bureau has requested the city of East Ridge, as well as all other cities in Hamilton County, to update the ordinances for the purpose of increasing the permit fees, the late fees, application fees, license fees, and admission fees that are included in there. They have not been raised since 2017. They've been the same for the past 9 years. Prior to that, they were raised in 2006, prior to 2017, and prior to that, they were raised in 1995. So that kind of gives you a listing there. The summary of the revisions and the fee schedules is on the second page, and you also have a copy of the proposed ordinance that would be our ordinance with the both noted in red, the changes, and also the one that would be just the black and white complete ordinance. It's before you for first reading.
Thank you, sir. Council will entertain a motion for ordinance number 1240.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1240.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
These raises, are these countywide?
Yes,
So they'll be the same?
this will be the same for
same
all
in
cities in
Okay.
Hamilton County, yes.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Rozelle?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Ordinance number 1240 passed first reading. We'll move to item D, resolution number 3778.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving the city resurfacing program for fiscal year 2025 through 2026.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. The budget for the 2025-26 street resurfacing program is coming from the State Street Aid Fund as well as the Capital Improvement Fund, totals a total $1.3 million. This year's program includes portions of residential streets throughout the city that we felt, and when I say is we, that would include myself and a street supervisor and a city engineer went out and spent a full morning looking at a listing of all the streets. You've seen them, it's attached here too, that we felt were in deteriorated conditions, being either spalling, severe cracking, depression, upheaval in pavement, etc. The residential streets selected are predominantly streets or connecting streets. We did not include cul-de-sacs in there. Again, this year, cul-de-sacs have a limited amount of travel on them, so even though they need to be done, they may be in fair to poor condition. We have through streets that go from one area to another area which are in worse shape and need attention. The cost estimate that we have done, or ACE Engineering has done on the list of streets that you have attached here too, comes to $1 million. That leaves a balance of $300,000 for additional road work. We want to add Lazard Street from McBrien Road to Thomas Avenue. And I also want to add Belvoir Avenue from South Terrace to Belvoir Christian Academy. You can recall this road when we were going through all of that bridge work up there, McBrien Bridge and Moore Road Bridge. All that traffic was pushed over from Moore Road and McBrien Road over to Belvoir Road. We had trucks and buses and semis going up and down that road. It's torn it apart. We need to get that work done. What is going on with the terraces, part of the I-24, I-75 project, they've started on the north side, North Terrace, to resurface a section of that. According to TDOT, they should be complete with the resurfacing of those terraces within the next several months. They should be completed with the entire project they're aiming for in April of 2026, and believe me, that date can't come quick enough.
Agreed.
I know, amen is right. I know the mayor's lived through all of that. I have lived through all of that. Anybody in that whole area, I know Andy's lived through all that increase in traffic. But looking for Belvoir Avenue to be done. That would come out to about $1.3 million in resurfacing. Now, talking about Caldwell Paving, they were awarded the street resurfacing project for the 24-25 fiscal year. They were awarded the bid in March of 2025, and to date, they're still not done. They have completed, as of today, the road over there between, well, the new Whataburger to open up, as well as Stump Street, which we had to reconstruct the drainage concrete swale in that area. What we are suggesting on that is that we contact Caldwell Paving and tell them, you're done, pay off for the streets. What money we have left over, which could be several $100,000, we put towards the 1.3 million, and the streets that have not been completed yet, we add to our listing of streets for fiscal year 25-26.
Okay, well, let's get a motion first before I ask the questions. All right, so I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3778.
Make a motion to, excuse me, make a motion to approve resolution 3778.
Second.
Have a motion by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Ezell. Do you have any discussion?
So, if this passes, then we have to go through a bidding process again, correct?
No, we have to bid, we will add the streets that are not completed to this list of streets that we're going out to bid on.
Okay, but it has to go out to bid to get
It
a
has to go out-
contractor to do the work.
Yes, anything over 10,000 has to go out to bid.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. We have the bids almost completed. If you give us the okay tonight, we already have the advertisement ready to put out to bid.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir. With the new two projects that were added to Caldwell, Stump Street and the Whataburger Street, I call it. And then the streets that they have not finished.
Complete, yes, there's a
Okay.
couple, yes.
All right, the ones they have not finished, the money left over, or is that gonna be enough to cover those streets?
Yes,
It is.
yes. We anticipate with the decrease in the fuel prices right now, we're hoping that asphalt prices when we go out to bid on this is going to be equal or less than what we had for 2025. Can't guarantee it, but we're gonna try.
And these list of roads, regardless of the cost, it's when the 1.3 runs out, that we stop. We might have roads left over in 25, 26.
We
because-
could, it could go either way. If we don't have enough money of $20,000 or $30,000, I'm gonna come to the council and say, I'm gonna find the money. But if we're short $100,000 or more, what we'll do is we'll stop, we'll do the 1.3 plus the carryovers, and we'll put those first on the list for the following year. This is, we're doing an annual road resurfacing appropriation and program that we've done successfully for the past at least 3 years. And we want to continue that. Our roads need attention.
Yeah. I think it's
We
been a
know
little
that.
longer than that. I think we started it before you came back.
Okay, then
I was-
maybe 4
I
years.
was
then.
pushing, yeah, I was pushing for
Okay,
it.
4 years, yeah.
Any other questions? And I'm gonna ask mine. So, y'all both kind of hit on it. So you're looking at 1.3 is what we're approving tonight. So if we go to Caldwell and we find out that there's another couple 100,000 of roads, we're gonna come back and have to then amend this, because it'll then push it up to like 1.5.
We will, yes.
Okay, that's all I want to cover. So we could have,
You will have to come in and
Come
amend
back
it.
and
I just
amend
need
this.
to know what,
correct. You just need to go
I need
get
to-
something rolling.
right.
All right, that was my question. Any others? All right, got a motion, got a second. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3778 approved. We'll move to item E, resolution 3779.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council amending Resolution 2634, adopting a revised public records policy for the city of East Ridge, Tennessee.
Thank you, sir.
This is going to be Mr. Witchford.
Mr.
Yeah,
Richford.
I'll take this. This is
Okay.
probably a little bit overdue. This I met with Ms. Diedrich, city clerk, about a month and a half ago, and we've talked about this previously, and then we finally put it. It's kind of just updates. These are all permitted updates to the Public Records Act, really to simplify some of the procedures for the city, both with respect to intake as well as processing, and then also responding to them. We have been in consultation with the Open Records Council. Feel comfortable with the resolutions that are provided in here, but this is just for the policy. You can look at it there, but it's a little update that needs to be done. It's long overdue.
Thank you, sir. Council will entertain a motion of resolution number 3779.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3779.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
Here it says the addition of a public records request online portal, which I'm assuming is going to require some sort of web development.
It's the addition to the policy of the current online
already
portal
have
we
it.
use.
Okay.
We no longer have.
No additional web
yeah.
development needed.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
That's just evident of how outdated it got.
Okay.
Any other questions? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell, Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3779 approved. That's the last item on the agenda, other than the discussion of the tentative agenda for January 22nd, 2022. So there'll be a presentation from East Ridge Fire Department Special Accommodation Award. Chief Williams, you want to brief us on that?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is in reference to a house fire that we had. It was not basically a normal house fire. And what it is to give commendation for their efforts during this fire, to go above and beyond their normal efforts. So these two individuals will be recognized for a letter of commendation, and then the shift itself will receive a unit citation for going above and beyond.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right, then under we won't have old business because it's been tabled. So that's the ordinance number 1239 and 1240. Actually, no, that was the 1239. So we will have the second reading of ordinance number 1240, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend East Ridge Municipal Code Title 20, Chapter 2, which is a chapter known as East Ridge Air Pollution Control Ordinance, by providing for increased permit and certificate fees. This would be the second and final reading, which we just approved. Any other questions at this time on that? See none. Under new business, the unnumbered resolution, acceptance of the $3 million of Hamilton County government for the county's match of city funds for the conversion of athletic fields to turf. Giles.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So as City Manager Miller told you, we attended the Hamilton County Commission meeting last night where they did pass in their ordinance the other $3 million for the turf project at Camp Jordan. On the January 22nd meeting, we have reached out to Hamilton County to get all of the exact information that we need to give you on that Thursday. And sorry, I'm having a diet. I apologize. So on that Thursday, we will formally ask your approval to accept these funds. And I hope to have like how the grant will work, how we'll receive those funds. At that time also, I will ask, during this 2-week period, we are trying to find out if we can go ahead and mobilize and continue with what we're doing now, so that it saves on the next round of turf for this project, because we don't have to pay remobilization. They're already there. We can continue and go to 1 through 4. When those are done, then we move to the soccer. We already have a whole action plan for how our seasons will go because of this. So we're ready to move, and I hope to have as much of that information for you at the next council meeting too, so that hopefully once we accept the funds, then we can also move on extending the contracts that we have now in place to continue this project and get Jordan by the time our big summer tournaments come in.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions? I see none. We'll move to the next item, which is an unnumbered resolution, contract for services and employment agreement for a city manager position. Mr. Miller?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. We are interviewing 2 candidates for the city manager position. At the last meeting we had on December 13th, I had 4 candidates that I was looking to bring before the council. Since that time, 2 have withdrawn, 1 due to salary and the other one due to personal issue. If after the meeting on Monday that the council decides they have a candidate they would like to offer the job, that would give me time to negotiate a contract with the individual and bring it before the council for consideration for ratification at the January 22nd meeting. If we don't have a candidate, then we don't have a candidate. I guess we go out and look again. However, we are scheduled for the interview of 2 candidates. That's why the resolution B reads as it is in an employment contract. If we come to a consensus on one of them that you want to make an offer, then I would go along with the individual and negotiate a contract to bring back at the January 22nd meeting. On C, my contract expires on January 22nd, or actually January 23rd. That's my last day by the contract. I would consider going on another month. I don't know anything further than that at this time. To make a transition with the city council or with the city in regard to bringing a manager on board. So we would have to discuss a continuation of a contract for me on a month-to-month basis at that time. That covers B and C.
Yep, you went and got C out of the way for me. Questions, council?
I would like to say something. I would like to thank Mr. Moore and his team that vetted all of these applications and screened them and brought them to us. I think they deserve a little bit of thanks for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We're not done until it's done.
That's all right.
I would like to see us go back to the drawing board and get at least 5 applicants like we discussed at the last meeting. I understand you had 2 that quit. I believe you had a Zoom call with 5, and you discarded one of those.
Yes, I did.
So they were good enough to make it to the bottom 5. I read these resumes that we're sitting here with.
Okay.
I'm not sure I want to even made the top 10. But
We
I
got,
think we should go back and do this again and bring 5 people to this board, which would be doing the citizens of East Ridge more justice of having a option of people instead of just 2.
well, my biggest question, well, let me go through the process because I want the public to understand. This council put their faith in me to do the search, correct?
They did.
And that's what I did. I had 29 applications for the position. We had 8 that ended up having city manager experience. The others did not. Of those 8, we got rid of 3 applicants that had been city managers. But when I started vetting the process through Googling them, they were not the type of, they didn't have they had some problems. They had some what I call skeletons in the closet. And I didn't think I was going to bring them before you to interview, because as a 45-year city manager in this profession, I didn't feel that they would represent good for the best for the city of East Ridge. We did Zoom interviews on 5 of them. One of them ended up being poor. We eliminated that individual and had 4 on the 13th. So I've got 2 right now because 2 dropped out. One was asking a lot more money than what we were willing to pay. Why would I bring him before the council? I had another one that had a personal situation come up and could not make the 12th and asked whether or not that person could have another interview with the city. I said, we only have the 12th right now. So if you can't make the 12th, I'm sorry. If we have another date, we can interview you. So I have brought 2 people to the city, which for the city council to interview. Next Monday, if you don't like either one of them, we go out again. But I would at least, these are the 2 best that we have that are available to come to East Ridge for an interview of the 29 applicants that I and my team looked at. If the council wants me to bring 2 or 3 more of the applicants that we have discarded before the council, if that's what you're looking for numbers, fine. If you're looking for individuals that will do a good job for the city, that are qualified, and do not have skeletons in their closet, then so be it. You don't need me.
So one of these people right here was let go 2 out of his last 3 jobs. I call it fired. They use fancy terms here. That's not what the city of East Ridge needs.
That either one of those, I'm not sure which person you're talking about, but the individual, there is an individual that has the same name from the same area, and it's not the one that has been fired 3 times that you refer to.
I'm referring to the resumes that we got handed. Reason for leaving, right beside their name. That's what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Also, too, I have a question of whether or not, do we pay the expenses to bring them
Yes, we
in?
do.
That's a big expense for that one.
It is. It is. In today's market, when you're trying to recruit city managers, I can tell you from experience, if you're not going to pay to travel, you're not going to get them to come. I wish I would have had 4 or 5 applicants. I really do. I was hoping to do that. The key to it is if we go out again and advertise, I'm not sure we're gonna get any more. According to several members of the Tennessee Municipal League and the city managers, East Ridge, unfortunately, based on the past 10 years, doesn't have a good reputation as far as city managers are concerned.
Okay. So this body needs to determine whether or not we're proceeding with the special called meeting on Monday to interview these two candidates, or if we are. I mean, that's what I'm hearing here. Are you suggesting that we cancel these interviews?
I would like to see that. That would just be my preference. I'm just one of all of y'all. But that would be my preference until we do this again and get something better for us to look at. Just my opinion.
So I assume that one was actually gonna drive in and one was gonna fly in. So we're gonna be incurring that expense for the air flight regardless, if we cancel. So this body can make the decision. So I'll just need a motion here and a direction, whether you wanna go ahead and interview these two and then make the decision. Doesn't mean we have to accept them, or do we wanna just say stop and punt and we'll reapply?
Well, I wanna know what everybody else thinks.
I think it'd be prudent just to go ahead and interview these two, since we've already got it on the books. We've announced the meeting, made press releases about it. I have no qualms with moving forward. We can make a decision to not accept either one of them and continue the process. I mean, I've got it booked. I mean, I'm cool with freeing up my schedule, but I mean, I think it's prudent that we move forward with the process as it is and at least interview them. If we don't like them, we can continue the process. I'm not opposed to that. Mr. Miller's already agreed to stay on by a month-by-month basis. I don't know how long, but
I agree with David. I think we should move forward with what we've already got planned.
I mean, this is me I'm not like set on either one of these guys. I've even addressed concerns about some of these applications to Mr. Miller myself, but I think it's prudent to move forward with just interviewing them in person first and then have the public take a look at it.
I'll go next unless Mr. Cagle, you want to go. I've reviewed them in depth, and I've had some concerns. I've had some discussions with Mr. Miller. I think that it is the right and fair thing to do with them already planning on coming here, and we're already bought a ticket for them to come and us interview them. I will tell you that I'm not going to pick one just to pick one to get the process over with, because we all have to work with them. Our department heads have to work with them. Our citizens have to deal with them. So just because if we do bring these two in, that doesn't mean when we get done, we're going to have someone we're willing to accept. But that's my opinion, because they've committed to be here. We've purchased a ticket, at least I think, and made travel arrangements. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be selecting one unless I feel comfortable with them and answer the questions that you may have from their resume, or I may have, or any one of these. Mr. Cagle, do you have anything you want to add?
I've been through this, and
I have too.
the last time we got big stacks of resumes, and I understand what they went through trying to decide on who to bring to us.
I understand.
So I didn't like the idea of just two people for us to pick, but then I understand we don't have to pick them. So.
And if we want to increase the salary, the third one might be interested. They still didn't give you your 5. So things to consider. But
That's all I got.
so consensus will proceed with not that we may or may not have one afterwards.
It's fine.
All right. Any other items that we need to add to the tentative agenda?
So nothing to add to the tentative agenda, but I did have a question about, ordinance 1239 being tabled. Just because, I mean, we have an applicant who's kind of waiting in the wings here. What is our time frame of getting the streets department down there to look at those drains?
It's not the streets department, this is an engineering department. The streets department, this is engineering. This is ASA engineering I'm gonna have to bring in, and you're gonna have to take a look at that, the water basin over there. That's just not just a street, it includes all the area that Councilman Cagle talked about.
Sure.
So all that's gonna have to be taken into consideration. I don't have an engineering degree, so I'm not allowed to go out there and
Right.
draft something up.
And
As much
eyeball
as
it,
I could probably do something, I don't have the signature ability, but ACE does.
Sure.
But I'm sure you're gonna try to expedite it as much as possible.
That's all I can say. Now, whether he'll have it in 2 weeks, I don't know.
Sure.
I doubt it in 2 weeks.
And we'll have to properly announce it.
Exactly, yes.
So it's not something that we'll bring off a table and then immediately vote on it. It's gotta be properly announced,
Yeah, I just want to make sure the applicant.
which adds
is-
time, to your
Right.
point.
I want to make sure the applicant is, his
Understand.
time is respected.
Yeah. I understand.
Anything else, council? I see none. I wish everyone to stay safe. Hope we won't get as much rain and as much flooding as we did in August, but everyone be safe, be careful, keep in touch. Emergency services, I know a lot were out there on the 12th doing a lot of work, helping with people stranded, getting people out of houses. It's greatly appreciated. We know they're going to be there they're going to run into the situation whenever people are needing to run away from it. So we appreciate them tremendously. But that's about it for this afternoon. So thanks for everyone that came, and this meeting is adjourned.